This evening on Nationwide, as the President of Mozambique visits Ireland, we visit his country to see the work of Irish optometrists in remote areas. We drop in on an exhibition about Roger Casement's time in Africa, and we visit an orphanage supported by the Irish in Mozambique. You're welcome to Nationwide, and you're welcome to the Republic of Mozambique on the southeast corner of Africa. And we're here to explore the connections between Ireland and this country, and in particular to take a look at the work being done by Irish people on behalf of the local people. For instance, can you imagine how wonderful it is to be given reading classes when your eyesight is failing? To have an iPad in the classroom when previously the children had dog-eared copybooks and broken biros, or to experience love and care in an orphanage having lost your parents to HIV/AIDS. Mozambique is bordered on the east by the Indian Ocean, and its neighbouring countries include Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Swaziland and South Africa. The country occupies a strategic location linking its landlocked neighbours with the sea. The capital of Mozambique is Maputo. The country is about the size of Turkey and has a population of 24 million, more than 70% of whom live in rural areas and depend on small-scale subsistence farming. Poverty is widespread, with more than half the population living on less than $1 a day.
I like to spend some time in Mozambique. The sunny sky is aqua blue.
Our first story this evening takes us to the picturesque Ilha de Mozambique, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was the former capital of Mozambique before Maputo. And this is where a group of Irish optometrists and optometry students have come to provide eye screening and prescription glasses to more than 2,000 adults and children, and all in the space of a week. The day began at the Escola Primeira Completa 25 de Junho, where the children were happy to have their eyes tested. They even gave us a few bars of a song. In the afternoon, it was off to the Hospital de Mozambique, where people queued to have their eyes tested by the Dublin Institute of Technology optometrists involved in the Mozambique Eyecare Project.
Well, Irish Aid launched a programme in 2008 which was designed to, I suppose, build collaboration between universities in Ireland and universities in Africa. And Mozambique is one of the Irish Aid priority countries. There was an opportunity there was some funding available for Irish Aid, specifically around poverty alleviation and trying to address the problems of hunger and poverty and those kind of things. So we made the link between blindness and poverty. So what we're trying to do is build an entire system, train the optometrists, develop the infrastructure that can provide the services, and then actually provide the services in the community where it's needed. The things we take for granted back home, the simple pair of glasses, you wouldn't think it could have such an impact on someone's life, but they really see that, and when you show them things that they haven't been able to see in a long, long time, it really makes a big difference to them.
You've been instrumental in setting up the very first course in optometry in Mozambique.
Yes, we've got a new programme in Universidad de Louro. We have a faculty there who we've brought in from overseas. Carlos Sanchez is our head of department. He's been here now for 3 years, so he's heading up the setting here.
Tento inclinar un bocadinho mais e fazer mais rápido. In my opinion, this course will make a huge difference in Mozambique, because simply there was not this kind of health course. There was not optometry before this program started 5 years ago now. So it will make a big difference in terms of health care for the whole population, and also in terms of new job opportunities for the new graduates.
We have built into the university education program, we've built in a program called One Student, One Family. And as part of One Student, One Family, each of our optometry students is assigned to a family in the community close to the university. And every week they go into that community, they go to their family, and they give them some helpful education points about their eye health. We had our first official graduation was last November. So our first 9 graduates came out of the program, and they're now all employed. We've kept 4 of them to develop them as the future faculty. So part of the idea here is that it's a sustainable program, so that in the end of the program we will leave a scenario where we have Mozambican lecturers delivering optometry to Mozambican students and leaving a sustainable program, if you like. Our official funding ends in September, but we have a plan to stay engaged up until 2018. We do hope that by 2018 the success of this will be measured by our ability to exit and for this to run itself into the future.
I think the most important thing about the project is the sustainability of it, and I think not only at home but here that people who engage with it and take it into the future. And I think the connections that have been made between students, Irish students and the Mozambican students, will last, and between the faculty here and ourselves, I think that's very important.
When I first came out, the main thing that I was struck by was the students, the Mozambican students, their passion for optometry, and they really have a sense of pride of they're going to deliver something for the future of optometry and eye care in Mozambique. So that was the main thing that struck me.
It's really rewarding. I can see that initially. Went to the school this morning, and just to see all the kids, it was really, really good. And when some of them put on the glasses and just that they could actually see the smiles on their faces is really amazing.
Really for me it's kind of about, there's no point in going to college and learning about all this if you're not going to come and give something back. Also it's a really good educational experience, and you never really see anything like you'd see here at home.
We really just don't know how lucky we are in terms of everything, houses, healthcare, everything in comparison. So I don't know, it just makes you look at your own life and kind of appreciate it a bit more.
Pereira, you will qualify as an optometrist in November. Where would you like to work then?
At the hospital, because in Mozambique we don't have optometrists in hospitals, and there is a few of optometrists also. We have a first graduate of optometrists, but it's still few.
Was it hard work?
Yes, and it's good, and I practice my English.
I'm completely passionate about this and delighted to have had the opportunity, so for me it's amazing.
If you'd like to find out more about the work that James and his team are doing, or if you'd like to make a donation to the MEP initiative, the details are on our website. Well, now we have travelled the 2,000 kilometres south from Nampula province in the north, right down to the southern tip of Mozambique, to the capital, Maputo. It's got a population of about 2 million people. Soccer fans will be delighted to know that the great Benfica and Portuguese football legend Eusebio was born here in this city. Maputo is a place of great contrast. There's massive poverty, but there's also great beauty. It's been referred to as the city of the acacias and also the pearl of the Indian Ocean. No matter where you go in the world, you'll find Irish people getting involved in charity work in the community in which they find themselves, and Mozambique is no exception, because here in Maputo the Irish have been fundraising for this orphanage, and they've been working in collaboration with the Health Access Initiative, which is part of the Clinton Foundation. And we're here with two women who are going to explain all this to us, Nicole McHugh and Lise Ellion. And one is Irish, one is Canadian, no marks for guessing which. Nicole, we'll start with you. This orphanage, first of all, has a lovely name, hasn't it?
Yes, Mary, it does. It's called Casa de Alegria, which in English means home of joy. And it's really an oasis for families and for children who have been abandoned or orphaned or who are ill or in need of assistance. The orphanage has a capacity of to hold about 80 children. It's run by Mother Teresa's sisters. And a lot of these children have been abandoned, unfortunately. Some are orphans and some are just come from families that can't cope anymore because they're sick. And some are referred by government orphanages. It's situated in one of the poorest areas of Maputo. A lot of the children are HIV positive, and they're being treated through a clinic, but with the help of the Clinton Foundation. So there's only 6 sisters who work here, And they've managed to recruit a number of mothers from the community who are women who are volunteering for a small stipend, who come and help assist in the care of the children.
So the Irish community has been fundraising for this orphanage, and what better night than St. Patrick's Night?
We organise a St. Patrick's Day party and we get a bit of sponsorship, but this year really we excelled, I think. We had 600 ticket sales, and through that we managed to raise over €7,000 for charity, and our chosen charity this year was Casa de Alegria.
Lise, the Clinton Foundation is very closely associated with this orphanage. What exactly is the job that you do here?
So the way we're related is we work with the health facility where all the children are admitted to, where they get tested to see if they are positive or not, and then if they are, they go on treatment. So we work with the health facilities to ensure that there's proper testing and the treatment is available. The treatment these days have gotten much better over the years, and so we're seeing children live long and fulfilling lives.
The Clinton Foundation is supported by Irish Aid, and my goodness, the Irish love the Clintons.
And the Clintons love the Irish, so...
So it's a match made in heaven.
It certainly is, yes.
Isn't this a really beautiful building? It's the central train station in Maputo, but if you've seen the movie Blood Diamond, you'll recognise it as the hotel from the film. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back we'll have more stories for you from and about the Irish in Mozambique. We'll talk to you again in a couple of minutes. You're welcome back to Nationwide and to Mozambique, where we're exploring the Irish connections here. And speaking of Irish connections, this huge square used to be called McMahon Square in memory of the French General McMahon, who went on to become the 3rd President of France and whose ancestors came from County Clare. Now, McMahon sided with the Portuguese against the English at the time of the Boer Wars, denying the English access to the port here in Maputo and therefore access to South Africa. Now, the square was renamed after independence, but the beer here in Mozambique is still called McMahon beer. Just thought you'd like to know that. The majority of Mozambicans still earn their living from the land, despite the fact that in recent years natural resources like gas and oil have been discovered here, and this has led to many opportunities for work and investment. So says Waterford man Paul O'Donoghue, who's been living and working in Mozambique since the year 2000. Hello Paul.
Hello Mary, very well.
Thank you very much. Very nice to be here.
Here in Dublin.
Nice to meet you. Paul, it's lovely to be sitting here in the shade but feeling the heat on our backs. It's a far cry from Lismore in County Waterford, where you grew up.
It is, Mary. It's a long way from Lismore to Maputo, I suppose.
You're involved in the mining industry, and it seems as if there's huge potential for growth in that sector.
I'm involved with a company called Savannah Resources, which is a London-listed company, a junior mining company, and we're exploring and looking for heavy sands in Inhambane, which is about 5 hours from us here in Maputo. If the exploration goes well and then it moves on to the next phase, which would be opening of a mine, then that would throw open lots of opportunities, particularly for local people.
Would you encourage Irish young people to maybe come out here and look for work and opportunity?
My advice to anybody who would be considering coming here would be, first of all, to make contact with the embassy when they arrive. The embassy is a resource which is probably not utilised enough by people when they arrive in a place like Mozambique.
Quality of life, of course, is important. Your wife is Marla.
Yes, that's correct.
And you've got 2 boys.
Yes, Sean and Chris.
Okay.
And they're here if you'd like to meet with them now.
Oh, I would love to.
We could go inside and have a chat
see what
with them.
they have to say about all of this, Paul. Hello. Very well, thank you. So, Marla, you and Paul made a conscious decision to live here in Mozambique and to raise your 2 boys. So that's a pretty ringing endorsement of life hereabouts.
It was never really our intention to stay for so long, but I don't know if it's because of inertia or I don't know what it is, but one year ended up into another year, and the kids are happy, and I've always been able to find rewarding work, and Paul's been doing well, so we've just stayed on. The city has changed. When we first came, it was a very quiet city, no street lights, traffic lights or anything. On the other hand, there were no shops, so we had to buy everything in South Africa.
And you have a very pleasant house. It's really cool, actually.
Yes, it's built in the old Portuguese style. Yeah, it's up. We have 3 floors, so the heat rises, and high ceilings.
What's the social life here?
It's probably more European than African. Dinners are late, and there's concerts and there's shows, and there's a lot of activities that all start from about 11 p.m. onwards. 9, 10 o'clock, the bars start filling up, the restaurants are filling up, people are out for the evening until 3, 4 o'clock.
That'd suit the Irish, wouldn't it?
Very well, very well.
Well, Chris and Sean, you're the people to really ask about the social life. When you're not at school and studying, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Usually just sit around, probably talk to friends, and just play video games and things like that.
What about sport?
I play soccer, and I do a lot of track and field.
Yeah. So you're kept busy?
I'm quite busy most of the time.
While there is a movie theater and there are a few things to do in Maputo, there's really not a lot, and it's very hard because often you have your parents chauffeuring you around to different areas. It's hard to get around, and it's hard to get out as well. So.
And what about holidays? You go to the States, you go to Ireland. Do you like going down to Lismore and Waterford?
I really do, because Maputo is nice, but it can be a bit overwhelming at times, and traffic can be a bit of a pain. But it's nice when I go to Ireland because in Lismore it's very, very quiet, and you can walk around, and a few people know each other. A few people know me because of my dad. And yeah, it's very nice and friendly.
And I believe you're a big fan of the 99.
Well, I mean, it's hard to beat ice cream in Ireland.
The Irish connections with Mozambique go back a fair bit. For instance, one of the most well-known historical figures in Ireland, Roger Casement, was British consul here during the late 1800s. And we've come along to the official opening by the Irish ambassador to Mozambique, Rory de Borca, of an exhibition chronicling the life and times of Roger Casement. And the curator of that exhibition is Tipperary woman Lorraine Cook. Lorraine, when exactly was Roger Casement here?
Roger Casement spent 2 years here towards the end of the 19th century. So he was appointed British consul in 1895 and served until 1898.
And this wasn't the only African country that he worked in?
No, he spent time in the Congo, he spent time in Nigeria, and he was also in what is modern-day Angola, so he spent quite some time on the continent.
He really was a champion, wasn't he, of social justice?
Yeah, I think those aspects of Roger Casement's work are really interesting, especially here, the reaction that we've had locally, exploring some of the themes related to the investigations he did in Congo and the treatment of the local population there, and then also the other work that he did in the Amazon. When he received his knighthood, he was really recognised as a sort of defender of the oppressed and a voice for the voiceless.
You've documented Roger Casement, the Patriot, and him coming into Bannistrand, a story that's very familiar to Irish people, and then his arrest and his trial for treason, the use of the Black Diaries, and also then his hanging in 1916. And then those clippings behind you of Roger Casement being brought home and reinterred in Ireland are really very moving.
Yeah, I think this is probably the aspect of the exhibition that probably really brings everything home, to just mirror some of the words that are actually here in the title. Roger Casement is home.
I'm just thinking though, in 2 years' time, 1916, you're going to have to do another one to commemorate the centenary of his death. Are you up for it?
Yeah, I think I've done all the kind of groundwork at this point, so definitely.
É prazer receber-vos esta noite para a palestra Roger Casement.
Earlier we showed you some film of the official opening of this Roger Casement exhibition here at the Natural History Museum by the Irish ambassador to Mozambique, Ambassador Rory de Burca. Ambassador, you must be delighted to have an exhibition like this happening in Maputo.
It's really fantastic. I mean, we know who Roger Casement is at home, and but I don't think we realise that Roger Casement had a life in Africa before he became an Irish patriot, a life in Africa and also in South America, which led him to become a human rights activist and led to his knighthood.
How long have you been ambassador here?
I've been ambassador here for 4 years at this stage. And
how's it going?
Well, I like to think it goes very well, but I mean, really it's for the host country to determine how good it is. But I mean, from a personal perspective, it's going very well, and the work here is incredibly interesting.
And your family is here with you. Who have you got in family?
My wife Mary, who's from Kerry, and 2 daughters, Sive and Alva.
And how do they enjoy life here?
Well, they tell me they're very happy, and I'm not going to ask them anything else. No, they enjoy it a lot.
Will you put Mozambique in context for us? It was colonised by the Portuguese.
Yes, it was colonised by the Portuguese, who came around to the eastern side of Africa early in the 1500s. Vasco da Gama came, and he found that Mozambique had a couple of good natural ports, which were very useful, particularly as Portuguese ships stopped over on their way to India. And that Portuguese presence lasted for about 500 years until independence in 1974, when there was a brief period of peace, and then unfortunately a 20-year civil war broke out, which ended in 1992. The country's growing at about 8-9% a year, which is phenomenal, but from a very, very low base. Life expectancy has increased by 7 years in the last decade, which is a real step forward. Most kids now get a primary school education, but there's a legacy of war. Most adults over 25 are illiterate. Those who come here are often surprised and shocked by the poverty. Those that have come back after 10 years are always surprised by the progress. This is one of Irish Aid's priority countries. The budget of the country about 5 years ago was 70% dependent on foreign assistance. Now it's 35% dependent on foreign assistance. So there's great progress being made. And that money is going in large part to improvements in health and in education, which are areas where Irish Aid is specialising in Mozambique.
You need to be among lovely people living free upon the beach of sunny Mozambique.
And so we come to the end of this special edition of Nationwide that has taken us to the southeast coast of Africa. Hope you've enjoyed our stories about Mozambique and the part that Irish people are playing in the lives of the people here. It's been said of Africa that no other continent has endured such an unspeakably bizarre combination of foreign thievery and foreign goodwill. And Mozambique, I suppose, is a good example of that. Colonised by Portugal for more than 450 years. And isn't it nice to think that the Irish are playing their part in bringing foreign goodwill to this country? Le dul faoin na gréine, nóman speisialta aon lás in Africa, Iohagwith. On next Friday's Nationwide and the second of our programmes from Africa, students from Dublin Institute of Technology take solar power to remote areas of Mozambique. And 20 years on from the genocide in Rwanda, we see how people who committed terrible crimes are being reintegrated into the community.